We're going to move into our News You Missed segment. And like I said, we did have the name of India invoked there. So we're going to talk Mother Teresa for a second.
God damn that fucking bitch.
So as of September 4th, she will be a saint.
Okay, you know what? I don't give a shit. Sorry.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, who cares
they
that you...
saints over mythologies all the times.
Yeah, just go ahead and induct somebody into your Hall of Fame.
Right,
They make everybody a saint.
Great person. So fucking what? They misrepresent her life. They did Joan of Arc too.
Make all the popes saints.
It doesn't fuck it. It doesn't matter.
I just think it's fucked up that somebody who thought that suffering brought you closer to God is being reviled as like some fucking saint.
Yeah,
it's literally as a saint. It's like, oh man, that's sick.
That's totally Catholic, dude. Like,
oh, it is. I love their threshold, their burden of proof for their miracles too.
Oh, that's lovely.
They just need like 4 or 5 people to say, yeah.
Yeah, that was a miracle.
No,
I saw it.
Yeah, it totally happened.
And so she had, for people that don't know, I think Christopher Hitchens made a really good book about her. I haven't read it myself, but she had 517 missions in 100 countries at the time of her death. And every single one of them, the majority of them, said that their patients were not cared for properly.
No, they weren't.
With many being left to suffer and die without appropriate medical care or pain medication. She would purposely withhold pain medication.
In fact, often all they offered was ibuprofen.
Yeah, and she misused a whole lot of money that was donated.
And what's really fucked up is that, when she started having problems of her own, she didn't go to one of her hospices. No. She flew her happy ass to Western medicine.
Oh,
yeah,
she did. She did.
And then condemned God for not showing the fuck up. No shit, bitch.
Yeah, I love how she was essentially atheist,
Yeah, she didn't believe.
She completely lost faith.
Yeah.
But I lost faith, but I'm still gonna fuck over these people that can really use some help. And so,
she thought that it was better for them to have faith.
God,
bitch.
No, fight harder to live.
You know what? But seriously, at the end of the day, of course she's gonna be a fucking saint. Of course she's gonna be a saint. She was famous to the Catholics. Like, what are we gonna... This isn't really we don't really need to condemn Mother Teresa anymore. What we need to do is just say, yeah, the Catholic Church fucking lies. Constantly.
Yeah. No, she's dead. She can't hurt anybody else now.
Well, except people could do things in her name. I love that. And they'll start carrying around stupid fucking medals and hanging them from their rearview mirrors.
I wonder what she's going to be the patron saint of.
The patron saint of motherfuckers. There you go.
Patron saint of suffering.
The patron saint of chronic pain.
The patron saint of cockbiters.
The patron saint of
There's a t-shirt.
But treatable illnesses.
Yay!
The patron saint of atheist being an asshole. There you go.
The patron
asshole
saint
atheist. There you go.
The patron saint of anti-vaxxers.
So Christopher Hitchens, he did indeed have a book written about this, and he had quite a bit to say about her. And I can't even bother to do the British accent, so I won't even try because it became more of a Charles Winchester kind of accent later in his life. Mother Teresa was not a friend of the poor. She was a friend of poverty. She said that suffering was a gift from God, and she spent her life opposing the only known cure for poverty, which is the empowerment of women and the emancipation of them from a livestock version of compulsory reproduction.
Yep.
God damn, Hitchens, man. And
Hitchens also, Hitchens,
he had his problems.
Talk about the liberation of women, but he also was kind of a misogynist himself, so.
Yeah. And she was a friend to the worst of the rich, taking misappropriated money from the atrocious Duvalier family in Haiti. You remember we had Papa Doc Duvalier, as Pat Robertson called him, whose rules she praised in return, and from Charles Keating of the Lincoln Savings and Loan. Where did that money and all the other donations go? Many more people are poor and sick because of the life of Mother Teresa. Even more will be poor and sick if her example is followed. She was a fanatic, a fundamentalist, and a fraud. And a church that officially protects those who violate the innocent has given us another clear sign of where it truly stands on moral and ethical questions.
Yep.
Man. Fucking Mother Teresa.
Yeah, she was a cunt, and the Catholic Church is just as cunty.
And if anybody's looking for the article where I pulled this from, it's from Pathos.com. It's Dan Errol's blog. I read a lot of his stuff. He's a good guy. Try to get him on the show one of these times. I'll talk to Dan. He's got his name and number. Hey, Dan, let me know, man. Anyway, let's see. We have a bunch of people stopping over in Utah right now, especially Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
And we have Ted Cruz and John Kasich came here too, which is really funny because Kyle, did you see the Solo Cup overpass sign that someone made for Kasich?
I did.
Oh, Utah, no, don't change. Instead of like "Welcome back, Elder" something, it said Kasich. When I was driving to Salt Lake the other day. Because he actually came up here to Davis County to to the high school up here, and I'm like,
yeah, he was at the high school just.
How many people showed up
across
to
the street?
Probably
a bit,
know. Probably quite a bit, because we don't get people like that coming here.
Yeah,
a couple hundred.
You know how many people showed up to Trump, right?
Thousands. No,
No,
I'm kidding. No, it wasn't
Not
quite that many.
thousands.
It was people that didn't like him.
1,400.
Yeah,
400 of which were specifically selected to be let in. They are trying to change the narrative of their violent rallies, which have been a problem. So now they're regulating who can go in, and so they can no longer be violent.
I'm waiting for
the
violence just happened outside.
I'm waiting for Trump
actually,
rallies to be. I want these to start happening in beer halls. Please, can they just start be happening in beer halls? Where you start wearing the brown shirts and.
The protesters outnumbered the Trump rally participants left outside, and not a single violent thing occurred. So,
There's stories going around of like rock throwing.
Yeah, I heard about the rock throwing apparently.
Yeah, you've heard of that. That actually didn't occur.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. There were a couple of rumors here and there, but no, the police were there the whole time. And they're like, nope, nothing happened.
Oh, gotcha.
They yelled at each other a lot.
And so, anyway, Donald Trump's here, and he had a little quote that he said on Twitter the other day that made me just kind of giggle. He said, Mormons don't like liars.
That's funny. That's true, because he's actually remarkably unpopular with the Mormons.
Yeah.
I mean, they do. They totally do like liars, but not his brand.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be the liar that where like you really believe it. You have to.
You have to be the liar that.
I mean, multi-level marketing happens in Utah.
You need magic rocks.
Yeah.
If you have a magic rock, you're okay.
You're the kind. You need to be the kind of liar that that puts women on that pedestal that actually dehumanizes them. God, the Mormons are the perfect example of that.
Of a misogynistic culture,
babies.
Yeah.
And that means that they. So you need to be that kind of liar that sounds really nice.
Hey, people
that makes them feel so good. Not
it's the pretend a pedestal.
For people that don't want to believe that there are such a thing as patriarchal societies and misogyny is rampant in this world. The Mormon Church is a perfect fucking example of this, people.
Yes. No, women
the Quiverful movement. Perfect fucking example of it.
I actually unfriended one of William's friends who added me, and I was like, when he added me, I'm like, just so you know, your friend just added me, and I'm not gonna back down on my atheist or my feminist or anything. He goes, go for it, because I have a remarkably supportive boyfriend. They actually exist. And he goes,
yeah, I've come to a conclusion this week that I'm going to start putting more stuff on the personal timeline. I'm going to be.
Go for it, dude. It's your fucking.
I know, but I do it because of the support system for my kids. Yeah, I don't want that to mess up, But fuck it, man. Fuck it.
You know what? No. Here's the deal. If they are going to deny a support system to your children, they're not because of that.
They're not good people.
Truly a support system for your children, and they will just foster a toxic environment for them.
I've already had the God talk. These are the same people that where I've brought them up before, where I'm like, please don't talk about this stuff with my kids. Please wait until because I don't want to deprogram.
Right? No.
Let a kid believe what they want to believe. But I'm going to teach them how to think.
Right. Exactly.
And boy, when they find out about Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy, your Jesus is going to sound funny. just like earlier today, like they were doing the Pledge of Allegiance, and like they were saying they were getting to the under God part, and I said,
right,
and they started saying one nation under, and I went Thor, under Loki, and they just started, Daddy, you're funny. I'm like, yeah, that's funny. You guys are gonna be thanking me later.
Yep, they are.
Because they're all just as silly.
But so the Mormons like the pretend kind. Donald Trump is selling them not pretend happiness. He's telling them that the world is broken. And according to the Mormon Church, the world is not broken. Not their world. No. They're perfectly happy. They're so happy as Mormons. They have to believe that. They have to believe
Everything
that.
is great. Except my church's name has of the Latter-day Saints, because the world's going to end soon.
Right, but they're happy.
Super creepy.
Happy as Mormons. They have to be happy. They just
so happy.
Oh, since we're talking about world-ending crazy and everything,
good. Yes.
let's Super Del Shanzi's fucking in the race for the governorship.
use that by training.
I bring him up, and
He's fat.
did he get fat?
Did he get fat?
Well, since he can't paraglide anymore.
Yeah, no, he got fat.
For people that aren't of the Utah descent, go. It's Del Shanzi. You can look up Super Del, and he is a guy that used to own a computer company here in Utah. I mean, like a retail computer place where it was called Totally Awesome Computers. You can Google their commercials because they are fucking insane.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, somebody explained it to me. It's Mormon humor. I'm like, so 5-year-old humor, and they're like,
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
But he also got in trouble in a couple of years ago because he was paragliding or parasailing, whatever the fuck he was doing.
Yeah,
he was on that thing
like
where you sit on a lawnmower
paragliding.
engine with a fan and it blows into a parachute. And he was chasing after a protected species of bird, and he kicked it while it was fucking midair.
It was a barn owl.
Yeah.
Actually, there are multiple videos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dick
Yeah,
hole.
the charges against him cite multiple.
Asshole. I hate this man.
He definitely did it.
But he's Utah's
he did.
favorite train wreck to watch happen because you just like want to sit down and get popcorn. You're like, what kind of crazy is he gonna? He's Utah's Gary Busey.
Yeah, he is totally Utah's Gary Busey, and he's running for governor, and nobody gives a fuck.
Nope.
Seriously. I'm telling you.
I hope they invite him to all the debates.
That'd be great. Except for he'd probably pull out a gun, the crazy fuck.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
he probably would. You never know with that fucker. I don't think he's invited. He's not going to get a voice.
Let's hope not. Let's see. To keep the ball rolling with, Indian news, I have a story, also from Dan Errol, about Hindu extremist attempts suicide over a cow.
Yep.
So in India, there was a group demanding that a cow be named the mother of the nation to reinforce their point. Decided to attempt suicide by ingesting poison. Apparently, someone bothered to try and stop them. I mean, why? If their God's going to save them. But 6 people of the Gau Rashka Etka Samiti and Rakjot were hospitalized when they attempted suicide over the demand that the cow be made the mother of the nation.
Okay.
Yesterday, they gave a memorandum to the something collector demanding to declare the cow the mother of the nation and gave 24 hours time. Yes, because you can affect change within your local government within 24 hours, and especially demands being given to them. Terrorism completely works,
Yeah.
There's actually a strong, robust history as to why the cows became sacred in India. And that involves the very, very... Basically, there was a massive climate shift, and this is well documented. And at that time, cows went out of vogue in the Middle East because they became too hard to care for. But in India, where it became more lush, it became... cows became... Actually, no, they went through the climate shift too, and it became harder to care for them. But cows could easily be cared for, but killing the cow actually would put a family in poverty. What they got more out of the cow was cheese and
butter and cream and all this stuff.
Yeah, butter. The other things that you get out of cows, and the cows could till their land. And
I will say that ghee is fucking delicious. If you get some good clarified ghee, that stuff's good.
Oh yeah, it is.
I fucking love Indian food.
I'm not gonna lie. Love me some Indian food.
Hell
and
yeah.
Pakistani. All day. All fucking day.
Day.
But
it's the complete white guy in me talking, but I like non-bread quite a bit.
But so families who ate their cows didn't last very long without having to ask for help because it's such a finite resource.
Well, yeah, you got
more out of the cow, keeping it alive. Hence, it became sacred. It became a cultural thing where they're like a cultural wisdom at first. don't kill the cow. Then it became a cultural sacred.
Don't have a
Then
cow,
it
man.
became dogma.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, no, you get more out of it by keeping it alive.
right,
Yeah.
that climate in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Because you go up way north to Europe to where you get your Switzerlands and your Goudas, your Hollands and stuff like that. Your Northern Europe's where they do the big format cheeses. And this is how you know this.
Big format. That's awesome.
They're actually called large format.
Large format cheeses.
I'm thinking like 5 1/4 discs and stuff, but
IMAX. That's where you get your IMAX cheeses.
40 to 80 pound wheels of cheese. Okay.
Fuck yeah.
And I know I'm going back to cheese again, but this is actually a really good example. The cows were not so hard to care for.
Oh, hang on, Felicia. Hey, all the haters out there, Felicia's going to talk about cheese for a second, so shut the fuck up.
Fuck you. This is actually really culturally relevant.
Cheese is delicious. Go fuck yourselves.
It is. But the reason that they were able to do that is because because of the massive climate shift where the Fertile Crescent was no longer so fertile, and India became good for certain things, but not for large herds of cows.
Like call centers.
Northern Europe became really good for large herds of cows, and it became cost prohibitive basically to care for goats and sheep in large herds, which is why you don't find as many goat and sheep milk cheeses up that way. So they were able to produce enough milk to make these 2,000-year-old recipes for cheeses, and they killed a lot of cow, and that's why you'll find beef is a common foodstuff in those areas. Pigs too, because pigs can survive that way. They could after the climate shift.
I have to ask you guys, what's your favorite?
Anywhere.
And I know we're meat eaters here, so if anybody's not a meat eater, I'm sorry if we're going to go into this topic. But what is your favorite type of meat? What animal makes your favorite meat? I'm a pork guy. I love pork.
You're not gonna like my answer because it makes me feel really bad, and it's super. I feel super guilty for it.
Horse?
It's veal, isn't it?
It's lamb.
Oh
no, there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
You should not feel guilty about that at all.
It's my favorite. I love it so much.
It's delicious.
It is so good. But
I just like pulled pork.
And
I love pulled pork.
I feel
so
bad.
much. I love me some
baby
carnitas.
I will eat the baby sheep all day long.
It's so good. I fucking love lamb. I love it so much.
Yeah,
lamb is quite delicious.
Okay, so the next time we're gonna have a thing all together.
We'll have to do the rack of lamb.
I'll make you guys a lamb curry.
Yes.
Well, me and Kylie will make you guys a lamb curry.
You're my heroes.
We'll have the show at Kyle's house next time.
Because we love you guys. There's nowhere to do a show here. we seriously do not have the room to accommodate people in this house.
Oh.
Let's see. We have time for one more story, and it's not going to, unfortunately, be Marco Rubio. I'll just let you guys know that he's rage quitting the government after this term is over.
He totally rage quit.
Is he rage quitting the government or just running?
Well, he's saying that he's rage quitting, but he doesn't really have any other fucking options.
He doesn't. He doesn't. He's not rage quitting. He worked his way into a big, gigantic corner before he realized no one likes him.
Yeah, and he can't even run. He's not running for governor. He's not even trying to get a seat back or anything. Yeah, he's just terrible. Yeah. Dummy. You're dumb. So I don't know if one of the best posts that we had this week on the Utah Outcast Facebook page is that we had the genocide and incest park that the tri-state free thinkers came up with. Tri-state meaning Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky. And they came out with a billboard that was making fun of the Ken Ham's Ark Experience, calling it the Genocide and Incest Park, celebrating 2,000 years of myths. So Ken Ham took umbrage with this. Yes, I used that word again. Fuck you, people. You nitpicky people.
About the word umbrage?
People just like, there's some people that are like, you use that word every episode. I'm like, shut up. I have a $5. I had that word on loan.
It's a good word.
It's a fun
It's
word.
perfectly descriptive. They took umbrage with it. Fuck
Umbrage.
them.
Yeah, I know. There are nitpicky people in the world. There are so many people that pick nits.
You know what? I say darling a lot. I call people I care about darling.
Hey, for the people that love the show, there's a reason I ask you guys to give us good ratings, because all we hear about is negative stuff most of the time.
No, that's people though. Dude.
That's people in general.
Like, at the end of the day.
You know, the fact that they're saying anything makes me feel good because I'm like, obviously I'm doing something right. So
hate is gonna hate.
Hey,
like I mean that can be used in like
hey Felicia, that's cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
But at a certain point,
You can't say that. Sorry. No, sorry.
Okay, they took umbrage because that was the correct pronunciation.
There you go.
Move on.
Own your whiteness. Thanks, Whitey. Hashtag thanks, Whitey. Let's see. So Ken Ham is pissed off about it. Yeah, there you go. I'll use the 50-cent word instead of the $5 word. He's mad.
He done get mad.
He takes issue with the thing, calling the park a tribute to genocide and incest. He says, quote unquote, how can atheists who have no basis for any absolute standards accuse anyone with such a moral judgment such as genocide and incest? Yeah, because you know we're using your guys' holy book.
Didn't he have?
But it's literal, dude. Like,
didn't he have a whole bunch of really bad grammatical errors in that post? In that tweet?
Yeah, the clip that I see here, like, there's a whole bunch of sick identifiers and like
sick
and like a whole bunch of stuff in brackets. So it's like, yeah, obviously the guy had to punch up the other dude's writing. So I mean, if you read it the normal way, you'd be like, hey, what that fucking mean?
You know what's funny is even if a murderer calls you a murderer and you were a murderer, it's still true.
Yeah. You know,
so even if atheists were so immoral, the book still describes genocide and incest, darling.
Well, and he's talking about, he's bringing up the stupidest fucking thing that he's been pointed out to so many times. He always brings up the stupid, you know, you don't have any absolute moral standards. Yeah, that's right. There's no such thing, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, because there are no absolutes.
Right.
No absolute moral standards. It is all completely subjective.
It is moral relativism, you know.
But theirs is moral relativism.
It's subjective morality. It's that's right. It's subjective morality, not objective morality.
So we are determining our morality, and this is what everyone does, based on what we believe will be the most beneficial to most people
and the least harmful.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So then what we can do now is look at objective information and how to do that.
Yeah.
There is we can actually use studies and science and information in order to determine what is the most moral course of action based on the concept that we value people and their happiness.
Well, and I think we brought it up last episode where like most of us are thinking, okay, if the flood did happen, and we know it didn't, we all know it didn't. It might have been a localized flood, but it definitely didn't kill the fucking population of the world, and he definitely did not get 2 of every species of whatever the fuck on the boat.
Definitely didn't happen.
Definitely did not happen.
Local flood. Definitely not.
So, with all that shit, even if there were that much of a flood going on and everything, are you telling me Noah is the only motherfucker at the time that had a boat? He's the only guy in the Mesopotamian area that had a fucking boat.
No, they just all forgot to use their boats.
Oh no, God somehow managed to tip over every canoe like it's a panty raid.
They didn't have enough time to get on their boats.
They were going to the girls' side of the island.
No. God broke physics, and regular boats wouldn't work, and the unfloatable boat, the Ark.
Yeah.
It was not.
Oh, let's not.
It wouldn't have floated. Okay?
Let's not also forget that the Ark apparently had one window, one ventilation window, to let out all of the shit stink and to let in all of this nice fresh air.
Yeah, no, that's not enough. They would suffocate.
They would have suffocated.
Well, because God just made all the animals not
suffocate.
He put them to sleep. I saw that movie.
Nobody pooped. Everybody went into a perfect hibernation. They went into their cryo freeze chambers.
Yep.
So what about the animals that are asexual? I mean, fuck you, X. Quit bringing up shit. Quit trying to science this. You can't science this.
Well, you still need 2 for biodiversity.
Well,
but you can't have biodiversity with 2 of a thing.
Yeah.
Nope. But they also didn't. They also forgot to mention putting plants on the Ark.
Yeah,
according to
the plants would have all died too.
Yeah.
You know what's funny what kills me is bacteria, or they're not. Oh God, I always forget the name. They are life. They are life, but they are not. They're not bacterial and they're not animal They're your lichen. They're your
Like diatoms?
huh?
Like diatoms, like the little tiniest plants that you can get?
Yeah.
Yeah. They are alive, but they are neither plant nor animal nor bacteria. They're their thing. They're their own thing. They're a thing. And they're life. They have cells. But and they're absolutely entirely crucial to very many species survival. Like those aren't accounted for. I'm like, did you gather what like 2 of each rock that has each of these different things? No, you fucking didn't. So when the earth drowned and those things that have to have very specific water, not too much, not too little, fucking Goldilocks zone, I guess. Those animals, when somehow they got back to where they're supposed to be, based on their environment, there was no environment for them to return to.
Nope. It's
There
amazing.
was-
Yeah, it's amazing that in this story they only happen to talk about the animals that they knew about that lived in that area.
Yeah. They're not talking kangaroos, you know.
Kangaroos don't show up there. Marsupials, not at all.
Galapagos
It's
turtles,
al-
nope.
It's almost as if they were just talking about farm animals.
Emus? Were emus there? Were emus there? No, there were no fucking emus. Polar bears
Nope.
didn't show up on the fucking Ark. Nobody described an all-white bear, did they? No.
Nope.
Penguins? The fuck you say?
No.
What about Neanderthals? You didn't have Neanderthals on there.
Well, no, that's where they all went.
I got another question for you.
Dinosaurs. Oh, wait, it says behemoth in the Bible. It
Where's
clearly says...
geckos?
Where's what? Did you just
Geckos.
call me an N-word? Oh,
Geckos.
sorry.
You know, geckos.
Oh, okay.
Tarantulas.
I thought she said the N-word for a minute. I'm like, what?
No,
No,
she
I'm
said-
kidding.
Gecko?
Felicia.
She
Come
said,
on, no.
she said the G word.
Oh, the G word. How dare you?
Nice.
That's a sacred word where I'm from. No, I'm kidding.
But
So,
I'm just saying, like, there's some, like, incredibly, there are some animals that seriously only live within, like, a 50-mile radius.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. And it's a species.
Nope.
It is in and of itself.
You went out and got them all. Every single one of them, a pair of them.
Yep.
Dummy. That's
God,
so
so
stupid.
fucking
These people,
stupid.
there are adults that believe this shit.
What about all, okay,
Fucking adults.
okay, so everything became ocean. So let's just say everything became saltwater since that's most of the planet.
Well, that's how we
What
got
about
the
all
Great
the
Salt
things that
Lake.
can't live in salt water?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know, they were evil.
But there's things that still can't live in salt water.
Yeah, no, as far as I'm concerned, anything that
Most
lives in
things-
fresh water is evil because it'll
Most
kill
things
me.
that live in the ocean can't live in a certain percentage of fresh water. So
No,
I would
yeah.
assume that since it was rainwater and not salt water, then the salt water would be diluted and therefore not enough salt water. And so therefore dead. Did they have tanks? Did they have a fucking aquarium?
Do you remember the? Do you remember the Simpsons episode where he gets Pinchy the lobster, and he puts it in the fish tank with the other fish that are currently living in fresh water, and he starts pouring in salt until like one starts flipping over the other way, until like
So they're
both
just
sets of
right.
animals are like both floating sideways. Like, yeah, okay, that's good.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's really okay. I mean,
PG.
you can't really argue with it because, you know, you weren't there.